In 2023, I filmed my first short film, A Date with ATL Man. For me, this was a huge opportunity because I had always come from only shooting music videos. Like this kind of work I could actually see myself doing long term. And I went to thinking, okay, this is the one. This is the project that's gonna separate me from being a music video director to an actual filmmaker. But what I didn't expect was how much this project was going to change me, not just creatively, but personally. For me, this wasn't just about making a film. This is one of those processes that really taught me not only about people, about myself, but just about life in general. Lesson 1, you cannot wear every hat, and you're not supposed to. One of the biggest lessons that I took away from making this film was that trying to do everything on your own will only take away from the overall project instead of actually helping it. I went into this project with a mindset of, I got this, I'll direct it, I'll produce it, I'll act in it. I just need to find me a DP because obviously I can't act and hold the camera at the same time. For me, it was something that I felt I could do because I've done it before. Not as so far as the acting part, but as far as the writing, directing, DPing part. So for me, I saw this as, oh, this is just a bigger scale music video, not knowing that when you step into the film industry, that's a whole new world. On the surface level, it sounded driven. It sounded like I was so ambitious and hardworking. But once you dug deeper into the surface, it really just gave, I was scared to hand my project over to anybody else because I knew what I wanted for it. But once I started actually breaking the film down and planning it and figuring out all the pieces I need, that quickly dissolved. I immediately realized that me doing everything, including acting, for the first time in the film was not sustainable. And more importantly, it's just not how great work is done. The film came together because I had a great team behind me. I had a great DP, Tango, who was also the co-director, and I had a great producer, Angie, who also was the co-director as well. Had I also had to worry about the camera, the production, anything else running along that, I would have not been able to fully step into the full actors that I became for this film. And that taught me something deeper than just filmmaking. It taught me that you cannot do everything on your own. Real growth comes from trusting people, building with people, and just allowing them to pour into what you're creating, because the right team will not take away from your vision. They'll amplify it. Lesson 2, if you are on the come up, you have to go hard for yourself. Another life lesson that this film taught me is that when you're coming up, you have to be your biggest advocate. You have to be your biggest #1 fan. Nobody is going to market your work the way that you market your work. Nobody's going to advocate for your work the way you are. You can't expect to just release something in that hopes that somebody else sees it just because it's good work. I did interviews. I scheduled my own sit-down content. I did photo shoots. I had a whole premiere. I created my own graphics. I created my own trailer. I treated this project like it deserved to be seen instead of expecting it to be seen. And that's when my background in marketing really showed up. I understood that filming the film was only one part of the journey. How you present it, how you anticipate it, how you get others talking about it is a whole other part of it. But just beyond the strategy of this film, it also taught me that you can't be afraid to put yourself out there. You can't be afraid of being in uncomfortable situations because you're afraid of others' opinions or other people's thoughts. I think for me, never having really been on camera and always been behind the camera, the marketing actually pushed me more to advocate for myself, to give my career a face. And so it just showed me you really can't be afraid to speak for yourself. You have to be your biggest fan. You gotta hype yourself up. You have to live your life within the means of, I've already made it. You can't wait for validation before you start to move like your work matters. Because honestly, if you don't believe in your work and you don't push it, what makes you think that somebody else is going to? That applied to me in life as well, because it just showed me whatever you're building, you can't be afraid to push it. because you can't expect other people to come around and rally behind you for it if you're not willing to push the idea yourself, if you're not willing to execute. Even when it felt uncomfortable and even when it felt like nobody was watching yet, I still and continue to push myself. Lesson number 3, take the chance and trust God through it. Probably the most personal lesson that I took away from this whole project is to trust the process even when your reality is showing you something different. Right before filming, roughly 2 months out from when we were actually supposed to film, I was in an accident, shattered my kidney, was in the ICU for a week. Then I ended up being in the hospital for a month. And through this whole thing, I was just so afraid to tell anybody that we needed to move the shoot, because I honestly felt like if I moved the shoot, people were gonna fall off. They weren't gonna have the same momentum and ambition that they once had towards the film. My biggest fear was just that this whole project was gonna go away because of what reality was showing me. But in the sense of knowing that God has you, he kind of allowed me to say, I'm going to make sure this film is going to happen for you. Whoever is not supposed to be a part of it, they're going to be removed. And so when I finally did reach back out to my team and I said, hey, here's my current situation, here's what's going on. I'm not 100% sure what everybody's schedule looked like, but I would still love to work on a film with you. It was more love than anything. People were rooting for me. They were still pushing to get the film done. And I think it just kind of showed me that versus what your reality looks like, you have to continue to push through. And that experience really just changed how I kind of look at life. It reminded me that things are going to continue to happen. You can't control it. It taught me that if you have faith, if you trust God, if you're willing to put your all into it, and you're still willing to bet on yourself, what's meant for you will still come together. This film wasn't just about filmmaking. It showed me that life will test you, but it doesn't get the final say. Looking back, it wasn't just a short film for me. It was a turning point for my life. It showed me the difference between doing something just because you're used to it and stepping into something new because you know you're aligned for it. It taught me how to trust people, how to keep going regardless of what reality looks like. And more than anything, it showed me that you don't have to have everything perfect to get started. I truly don't believe nothing in your life will be 100% perfect before you get started with anything. You just have to be willing to take that chance. Because honestly, the reality is that there will always be a reason to wait. There will always be a reason why you can't get started on something. There will always be a reason why you can't do something. Something won't be perfect, something will feel off. Even with me doing YouTube, every time I've dropped a video, I learned something new. I've learned how to better film something or I better want to look on my YouTube. But if you keep waiting for the perfect moment, you may never move at all. This film almost didn't happen, but I'm so glad that it did, because it didn't just give me a project, it gave me proof that I could do anything I truly set my mind to.